Hey guys, JamesMC Reviews here, and welcome to the spine-tingling conclusion of JamesMCD's Friday Nightmare. And today we'll be capping off this series by taking a look at the remake for A Nightmare on Elm Street, released in 2010 and directed by Samuel Bayer. This one comes to us from Platinum Dunes, which is the same production company that put out the Friday the 13th remake, and in doing so, tries to go for a more gritty, more serious, darker version of the original 80s classic. And if you could believe it, I think this one might be a little bit worse than the Friday the 13th remake. Like, the worst that I could say about the Friday the 13th remake is that it was just really boring and uninteresting. And to an extent, like, that's probably the worst that I could say about this one as well, but I don't know, like, I feel like in trying to make A Nightmare on Elm Street more grounded and, like, gritty, it kind of took away all the personality. Like, whatever you want to say about the original Nightmare on Elm Street, like, it felt distinct. Like, it balanced out the humor with sort of the darker elements, and it was scary and well-paced, well-directed, and everything like that. And it felt like, you know, it felt unique. Like, you could look at that movie and there wouldn't be any mistaking it for any other horror movie. Whereas you take any frame from this 2010 remake that doesn't have Freddy Krueger in it, and it just looks like every other 2010s horror movie. They try to go for a darker tone, just like the Friday the 13th remake and the Halloween remake, but this one, like, I will give them a little bit of credit, is that this one feels a little bit more justified in that they show a bit more explicitly, like, Freddy's crimes and, like, how he abused these children, whereas, like, in the originals, it was a lot more, like, alluded to of, like, was it abuse, was it sexual, was it murder, like, whereas here, like, you see the kids come home to their parents with, like, scratch marks on their backs and shit like that, and you see how, like, traumatized they are and things like that. So, like, I feel like if it had developed a little bit more on that, it probably could have been more effective, especially because a good chunk of the movie is, like, the kids, like, not knowing each other and not having any, like, concrete memory of, like, what happened with them and Freddy, and them trying to figure out, like, wait, were we just confused? Like, did we misunderstand or misread something, and, like, did our, like, imaginations accidentally get Freddy killed, or was he this horrible monster that the parents, like, could see and they put him away and stuff like that. Like, that stuff could have been a little bit interesting, but I don't think they really, like, developed on it enough, if that makes sense. They also don't really make the characters interesting at all. Like, Nancy and her friends, like, for the first, like, half of the movie, like, they don't even remember being friends. They don't have that history. They don't have that connection. And so if they don't care about each other, then why should the audience care about them? And also, they're just kind of, like, planks of wood. Like, that's the thing, is with both this remake and the Friday remake, their answer to making it more serious means making it more boring and giving the characters, like, no identity and no personality, which is annoying because the characters in the original Nightmare on Elm Street had lots of personality and you remembered things about them. And speaking of characters, Freddy Krueger this time around is played by Jackie Earle Harley, who I didn't realize until I was looking on Letterboxd to see if I'd seen him in anything else. He was Gruishka in Alita Battle Angel, which that was pretty cool. But yeah, he plays Freddy in this movie, and I don't want to place the blame solely on him, because maybe it was just poor direction, or maybe it was just poor choices all around, but, like, this version of Freddy just completely pales in comparison to Robert Englund, which I know doesn't seem like a fair comparison because that's, like, big shoes to fill, but, like, I just don't think that this direction was, like, the best choice. First of all, he looks like Voldemort was put in a house fire. Like, the makeup and CG on him looks terrible. I get they were trying to go more realistic of what an actual burn victim would look like, but it just doesn't look that great, and it doesn't look scary. It just looks dumb. The voice that they have him doing is really stupid. Like, they're trying to make him like all gravelly and serious. Like, they've got him doing some Batman voice and to try and make him sound more scary and everything like that. But like, the original Freddy Krueger just naturally, like, sounded creepy. Like, he didn't need to put on, like, a fake voice in order to do that. And also, like, with his dialogue, like, he's trying to be more intimidating and creepy looking, but they still try to have him throw in, like, one-liners here and there, which just feels so out of place. Like, when he's, like, being all menacing and creepy and shit, and then he drop some sort of one-liner, like you see a dead dog and it pans up to Freddy is like, oh, I was just petting him. Like, it seems so like out of left field and not right for the character. Visually, the film doesn't really look that great. The CGI, good lord, like, the CGI in a lot of the movie looks really bad. The kills look really dumb. When they're recreating like scenes from the original movie, they don't look nearly as impressive. And then just visually, the rest of the movie just looks really washed out and colorless. And like I said, it has no personality, which the last thing that you could say about the original Nightmare on Elm Street movie was that it didn't have personality. So yeah, ultimately, I really didn't like this one. I actually think this one might be a little worse than something like Freddy's Dead. Because at least Freddy's Dead was just kind of bad and like, it was an underwhelming ending and it had some really stupid shit in it. Whereas this, like, it had like potential. I feel like you could have done this a little bit better, but they just didn't for whatever reason. So yeah, going to my ranking, I would have to give Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 a 2 out of 5. And there we go. The Friday Nightmare officially draws to a close. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Did you like it? Did you hate it? How does it compare to the original? And how does it compare to the Friday the 13th remake from the same studio? Let me know all that stuff down below. And also, let me know what you thought of me doing this series as a whole. Like I said at the beginning, I haven't done like a big, ambitious, month-long binge watch like this since like season 2 when I did Marvel Month. So it was a lot of work. It was very stressful and difficult to put together. It was a lot of recording things in advance. But hopefully you guys had a good time watching it, because I certainly did. I had fun. Like, despite a lot of my gripes, I did like finally getting to cross these movies off my bucket list. And let me know in the comments if you'd like to see another one of these binge watches later down the road. It'll be a while, but I wouldn't be opposed to doing another one, depending on what it was. So let me know what you thought of this series. Be sure to have a happy and safe Halloween. And until next time, be sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you can stay up to date on when I'm posting. Follow me on all my social media. Subscribe to my main channel. Everything you need to know will be in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.